Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Agatha. I am a warlock from a time long forgotten. I'm trying to get a book deal for my adventures. The stories of Agatha. The travels of the warlock Agatha. I haven't quite worked it out what the title will be. But I'd like to make a book, and my publicist told me it would be easier to market. It'll be easier to market the book if I have a podcast. So I'm going to smoke cigarettes and tell you stories from my many travels. I am a mage, a magic user, a wizard, a warlock, a necromancer. They have many names for spellcasters like me, none of which are quite sufficient to summarize my power. I can make my cock longer or smaller at will. I can summon the dead. I can make women love me, and just as easily make them hate me. Of course, I have disappointed many women, but I will not share of my romances this evening. Tonight, I will share with you a tale from one of my favorite adventures I ever had, where I had to seek out and slay a three-cocked brown bear. It was a stormy evening, and my coffers were low. For you modern folk, that means I was out of money. I was broke. And so I sought out work, as any man does. And of course, I don't like to work a salary job. Alright, I have magic powers. I'm not gonna go work at a desk or in a factory somewhere. So the best type of work for me is killing things. I like to kill things for money. Something of a bounty hunter. And so I answered a flyer, a calling from a local sheriff who had placed a bounty on a three-cocked brown bear. Apparently he had molested several children in a village and killed many women. Not sure why that last part is a problem. I was fine with the slaying of the women, but Agatha does not stand for child molestation. So I told the sheriff of the village I would kill his three-cocked brown bear, and I would return with its head and its three cocks. I didn't have a horse, because I had sold my last horse for some gold, so I could gamble. I have a gambling problem. I enjoy gambling. It's only a problem because I lose all the time. If I was winning, it wouldn't be a problem, but nobody ever wins gambling. That's not the point. The point is to pass the time. The point of gambling is to give you something to do, something exciting, something to look forward to. This life is so terrible. It's awful. Every day is just trying to not kill yourself. And so gambling is like a fun little thing you can do to maybe not do that. Even though the irony of it all is that you end up feeling even more suicidal than ever, especially after a long evening of pissing away your hard-earned wages. And so I had to walk. I had to walk a long way. A long way. I'm not good with geography or map reading or navigation. So I don't actually know how far it was. I had to cheat. I used my magic spell. I can summon like a compass thing that tells me where to go. It's pretty cool. And so I went on my way through the hills, up the mountain, down into different valleys and across many rivers, until I finally came to the cave of the three-cocked brown bear. The skeletons of other children who had been its victims lay in the corner, and in the far reaches of the cave I did hear the bear slumber. It had begun its hibernation for the long winter. So I snuck through the cave and crept up to it, and just as I was preparing to kill it, I raised my wand above my head and was preparing to cast my kill spell. You can say any number of things when you cast your kill spell. You can wave your wand. I'll use this pen as a visual aid here. You can wave your wand and cast dead. You're dead now. Kill. Murder. I don't want you to be alive. Ha! You can say pretty much whatever you want. A lot of people think you have to memorize all the words in a spell book. But after you do this for a while, you'll find that you can actually get away with a lot. It's magic. It's not rocket science. It's not, whatever. If I wanted to just waste my life memorizing fucking medical terms, I would have gone to law school or medical school and been an actual professional. Been a professional something. Made my father proud. Anyway, I raised my wand. And just as I was about to deliver the killing blow, the killing spell, the kill spell, the bear awoke. And with one fell swoop, his paw swiped through the air and knocked my wand from my hand. And it clanked across. I could hear the wood of my wand bang against the cave walls and echo through. And the echo pierced my soul because I can't use my magic without my wand. It's fucking gay, I know. I should be able to use it with just my hands. I wish I was that powerful. I'm not high enough. I'm not powerful enough. I'm not high enough in the ether, however it works. I don't really know how magic works, but I'm not high enough into that, up in the world of magic. Maybe one day if I fucking practice some more, I guess, I'll be able to use my spells without the wand. And so I had been disarmed, and the bear stood quite tall. The cave had a high ceiling towards the back, and it could stand fully. It was a tall bear, 15 feet in height. It towered over me. I'm only 6'3". I say only 6'3". I know that's quite tall for a man. Well above average, of course. There are many things about me that are above average. So, there I was, and he was roaring, "Rah!" He gave me a ghastly fright. And at eye level with me, 6 feet in the air, dangled his 3 cocks and his bare testicles. Although flaccid, they were large and intimidating, and I knew I had only an instant to act before I became his next victim. So I did a roll, like a cool action movie diving roll. I rolled, but I'm not very athletic, so I kind of fucked it up. And I fell to the side off and hurt my hip pretty badly. But then I was within reach of my wand, and I picked up my wand, and I said the only spell that I could think of. You have to mind, this is only instance. This all happened in an instance. I didn't have much time to think. And I cast the only spell that came to mind. I raised my wand above my head and called out the command, the magic word, AIDS! And the bear fell to all fours and crumpled in a heap on the ground and began coughing up blood. You see, you can cast HIV and they only get HIV, but if you cast AIDS, they immediately, instantaneously, are diagnosed with late-stage AIDS, where their immune system is immediately compromised, and the part where they're coughing up blood all the time because they're pretty much dead. And his face began to wither and shrink, and he looked like shit. He looked like total shit. And anyway, I walked over to him, and I stood above him as he died. I stood above him, and I said, "This is for the children." And then I raised my wand one more time, and I said the magic word, "Inside out! Ha!" And he turned inside out. His insides became his outsides, and his outsides became his insides. And all 3 cocks went inside of him, and it was instantaneously an explosion of guts and blood everywhere. And his massive bear corpse erupted. It was awful, but also epic and awesome. And then I looked in the back, and there was a cage with children. And I waved my wand and said, "Free! You are free now!" And the cage opened, and they ran out and said, "Thank you! Thank you, Agatha! We will tell the villages far and wide of your heroics today." And I said, "Thank you, children. Godspeed." Even though I don't believe in God, I like saying that. I think it's cool to say Godspeed. Godspeed. It just makes it sound just makes you sound cool. You know, makes you seem like you're a part of it. I like to feel like I'm part of it, you know. It's one of the rare moments, you know, where you can put the mask on and just pretend like you're a part of it. You know, everyone else is just, I don't know what's going on in everyone else's head, but most of the time, I don't really feel like I'm part of it. Bit of an outsider. Anyway, I had to dig around inside of his corpse, find the 3 cocks, and I severed his head. And I filled a great sack with his severed body parts, and I marched back to the sheriff to claim my bounty. And I was paid well for that. I like this line of work because I only have to work for a few weeks out of the year, and the rest of the time I can kind of fuck off and do whatever I want. Bounty hunting is a great line of work. It's dangerous. Many of my colleagues have died. I'll end today's episode with a small story of, in memoriam, how my friend William the Wise was recently killed. William the Wise is one of my he's dead now, but he was one of my greatest friends and colleagues. I used to consult him often, the ways of the world and the ways of the magic. You see, I'm not very studious. I'm lazy. I don't like to read. And William was a great scholar. He would stay up late, smoking his pipe, and reading the great books, magic books filled with knowledge, and he would educate himself on what spells were best in what situation and how to get out of certain situations, and he would read the biographies of other great adventurers so he would not repeat their mistakes. Well, he was very good with the books, and he could read well, but he was not good with women, and his most recent romance ended in tragedy. I tried to warn him for many moons. That means a long time. I tried to warn him for many moons that she was no good for him. A she-bitch, a devil, a demon, a succubus, as all women are. But she was a true devil, from the 9th circle of hell, I presume. One of the Dark Lord's many servants. Her eyes were an ebony black, darker than a moonless night. And I knew, from the moment I saw her, she would be his end. But she was beautiful, and he wouldn't listen to reason, as wise and studious as he was. Well, one day, they were on a camping trip out by the great river, and when he had his guard down, she slit his throat and disemboweled him. That means she cut his abdomen open and his guts spilled out everywhere. It was awful. I had to go identify his body at the fucking morgue. It was terrible. They didn't even do that good of a job cleaning it up and putting it all back in. He was still like all fucked up. Anyway, yeah. So basically, the reason she did that is because basically if you kill someone with magic powers and you have magic powers, you can, if you do it right and you know what you're doing, you can harvest their powers. You can harness their powers, make them your own. You watching at home, you don't have powers. You work at a shit job you don't like, and you have a shit life. That's why you're listening to this. If you had a cool life, if your life was great, you wouldn't be listening to this. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I did that. I always go to a really dark, negative place. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Anyway, yeah, that bitch killed him. William the Wise. Yeah. So yeah, if you're a normal person, if you're just a regular human, you don't get their powers. But if you're a magic and you kill someone with magic powers and you do like a dark ritual and you serve the Dark Lord, you suck out their powers into yours. Not like a good suck. It's not like how if you were trying to enjoy your evening and your girlfriend came in and sucked your dick. It's not like that. That's great. That's awesome. Or like even better, it's like she wakes you up in the middle of the night or right first thing in the morning with head. Doesn't get better than that. I could die. And right after that, I could die totally fulfilled and complete. Anyway, I did track her down. I found her lair. Women like to think they have a cozy little house, a cozy little den. They fill it with shit. They fill it with decorations and knickknacks and fucking furniture they don't need. Their credit score is 500, but they have every fucking little piece of furniture and decoration you can imagine. And they think it's a cute little den, a cozy little cave, but it's really a lair. It's an evil lair. That's how they all are. Anyway, I tracked her to her lair, and I cast the most vile spell I could think of. I raised my wand above my head, and I twirled it, and I summoned a great thunderstorm. And I cast retarded! And she became retarded. Almost fully retarded. She was still able-minded enough to know to remember what I had done to her. That was important to me. That she lives the rest of her days, knowing that she used to be capable and beautiful, a member of society, but now she's a retard, a disabled person. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense either. I mean I made her into a disabled person. I would never call a retarded person retarded as an insult, unless it was funny and it was just me and my boys. I would never do it to their face. That's terrible. Anyway, I think she still lives in that same village. The nuns just put food and water outside of her front door. somebody feeds it to her or something. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I made sure when I learned about that spell that I created a halo, an aura around me that protects me from it. A sorcerer can focus on one aura shield at once, at least at my level, where I'm at. Later on in my progression, I can concentrate on multiple, but some choose to concentrate on a death aura, a death shield aura, so that way they are immune to the instant death spell. But I don't care about that. They can kill me. Someone can come and kill me if they want. That's fine. But I don't want to be disabled. It sounds terrible. If I have any disabled viewers, Godspeed. I appreciate you, and I hope whatever you're going through somehow gets better one day. Even though it's probably not. Anyway, I don't know why God does that, if he's out there. Some say there are many gods. I don't know. Anyway, my name is Agatha, and I thank you for joining me this evening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tune in next week for more stories that will be in my book one day. Whenever we get that finished, finalized, and published, I'll let you all know. I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are. I'm going to bed now. It's late where I am. It's raining, so I'm going to sleep very good. I love falling asleep to the rain, falling on the roof, the wind blowing outside. All right.